Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military Summary channel, and this video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous 12 hours. We have lots of very interesting updates, so let's start. And first we're going to talk about the Caribbean Sea. According to information we have, during the previous 12 hours, another oil tanker was intercepted. This video was published by the US Army Southern Command, and here we can see the tanker Aliva that was intercepted by the US forces. Earlier, Reuters reported that the US had begun an operation to intercept the ship which had left Venezuela under the flag of Eastern Timor. So now we can see that the President of the United States of America is serious as never. Also, he stated during that the largest oil companies in the world are coming to the White House at 2:30 p.m. Everybody wants to be there. Furthermore, he stated that Russia and China can also join this meeting. Russia can get all the oil it needs from us. We're open for business. China can buy as much oil from us as it wants. Russia can also get all the oil it needs from us. China, Russia, and everyone else are welcome to come and to do business. We'll be open. So I would like to remind you that before this situation, Russia and China had, let's say, primary access to Venezuela and to the Venezuela's oil deposits. Now the Russian Federation, according to the new reality, must first ask the United States of America permission to buy this oil, and to buy this oil just through the United States of America. Now let's move further. Just a few words about Iran. Currently we see that a huge process, there is a very huge and inevitable process through this state. Most likely huge changes await for this state, because according to information we have, the protests across Iran continue, and most likely something is inevitable, and most likely this time there will be changes. Anyway, let's wait and see what is going to be next. But if something happens with Iran, this can change the entire picture in the world. Now let's return back to Ukraine, and first let's discuss once again the situation in the western part. According to information we have and according to media, yesterday the Russians attacked the western parts of Ukraine with the Oreshnik system. This video was published by pro-Ukrainian sources, and here we can see the moment when the Oreshnik system attacked a target on the territory of the Lvov region. Later we had reports that most likely Russians were attacking the gas infrastructure of the region, but this morning we received more details and more updates, and according to information we have, the Russians were attacking the city of Lviv. More precisely, the Russians were attacking the territory around the Lvov International Airport, so this territory, this industrial complex. So very likely that Russians were attacking maybe F-16s that were located on the territory of the city. As of now we don't know for sure, but one thing is clear: the Russians didn't attack the energy infrastructure of the region. The Russians were attacking the military base, air base. Now let's discuss the situation with Ukraine's energy. According to information we have, during the previous 24 hours, the Russians continued bombing and attacking the Dnipro region. This video was published from the Kryvyi Rih region, from the Kryvyi Rih city. Here we can see several attacks, explosions, and here we can see that most likely the Russians were attacking some energy infrastructure objects. Most likely the Russians attacked a substation. Furthermore, the Russians continued bombing and attacking the city of Dnipro itself. During the previous 12 hours, we received lots of videos of how Russians were attacking the city with dozens of drones. So the sources are saying that the blackouts in the Dnipro region lasts for more than 40 hours. This is a very huge number. People are without electricity, without heat, without water for more than 40 hours. If this situation continues, obviously the population of the Dnipro region would be forced to leave this territory in the western direction, which can create unpredictable consequences for the entire line of combat contact, because the city of Dnipro is one of the most important cities for the front line for Ukrainian forces, and if this city becomes empty, this can lead to collapse of the front line, at least in the Zaporozhye direction or in the Dnipropetrovsk direction. Now let's discuss the situation on the ground, and first let's talk about the Gulay Pole area where the Russians continue offensive operation. During the previous 24 hours, we received lots of updates from this area. First of all, according to different sources, the Russians, as a result of offensive operation, managed to improve their position significantly around the settlement by the name of Priluki. We have a video. This video was published by pro-Ukrainian sources, and here we can see how Ukrainian soldiers were attacking and storming a stronghold in this area. So this point was attacked by Ukrainian forces, by Ukraine's forces. Based on this video, we came to the conclusion that some territories in this part of the front line are under control of the armed forces of the Russian Federation. Furthermore, this morning, several pro-Russian sources stated that the village of Priluki was captured by the armed forces of the Russian Federation. As of the morning of the 10th of January, neither the Minister of Defense nor the group of forces is confirmed this information, so most likely we will receive a confirmation later. At the same time, the Russians continue their offensive operation in the area of the villages of Zaliznichne, Верхняя Терса, Цверкова, Staroukrainka, and Svetopetrikovka. Today, pro-Russian sources reported that as a result of offensive operation, the armed forces of the Russian Federation managed to improve their position significantly around the settlement by the name of Svetopetrikovka. So pro-Russian sources are saying that the settlement was encircled by the armed forces of the Russian Federation, and the contingent of the armed forces of Ukraine in this area was trapped. So no chances for evacuation, and if this information is correct, then in coming days and maybe hours, the Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation or the group of forces East will confirm complete control over the territories. So this is the situation in this area, and now we see that the Russians are trying to create pincers around the settlement by the name of Zaliznichne, which is a very important, probably one of the most important settlements in the entire Orechov direction. Now let's move further and let's discuss the situation in the Dobropolye direction. As you can see, during the previous 12 hours, we haven't received anything. The most important piece of news regarding this territory is that neither the Russians nor the Ukrainians are doing anything with the purpose to improve positions. The front line has been stabilized. The Russians are not moving further. They're trying to improve their positions. They're trying to finish the battles for Pokrovsk and Mirnograd. There are still pockets of resistance. There are still too many jobs ahead, so that is why the Russians are trying to finish everything before moving further in the north and the northwestern direction. So we believe that the activization of the front line will start or will take place only in the late winter or during the early spring military campaign. At the same time, the Russians are paying significant focus to the city of Konstantinovka. During the previous 12 hours, the map has been adjusted significantly. So these are the changes on the ground between the dates. This is the end of the 9th of January and this is the beginning of the 10th of January. According to pro-Russian sources, as a result of offensive operation, the armed forces of the Russian Federation managed to improve their position significantly in the western part of the city of Konstantinovka by entering the settlement of Vilenka, in the southwestern part of the settlement by entering the settlement by the name of Berestok, in the central part of the city by improving positions around railway station, and in the northeastern part of the settlement by entering the locality by the name of Novodmitrievka. So the Russians, as you can see according to this article, are attacking the city of Konstantinovka at least from 4 directions, trying to cut the city into smaller pieces. Ukrainians are sending more and more reinforcements and reserves in the direction of the city, but all roads are under complete fire control from the Russian side. Here we can see how a vehicle was trying to get to the city with additional infantry and reinforcement, but the vehicle was completely destroyed while approaching the city. This is another video showing almost the same situation. Ukrainians were trying to bring additional reinforcements, but the reinforcement was attacked by FPV drones. Now let's talk about the Slaviansk direction, more precisely the Liman part of the Slaviansk direction. According to information we have, the Russians managed to break through Ukrainian defense in the Izum direction. During the previous 48 hours, huge changes on the ground in this area were recorded. So, for example, just yesterday we received a video where we could see how Russians were entering the settlement of Svetogorsk without any resistance from the Ukrainian side. Based on this video, most of the mappers adjusted the eastern part of the settlement of Svetogorsk. This morning we received another video published by pro-Ukrainian sources, and here we can see another group of Russians that were moving in the direction of the settlement by the name of Alexandrovka. The Russians entered the eastern part of the settlement, and only then the Ukrainians began bombing and attacking Russians. Furthermore, during the previous 12 hours, very reliable pro-Russian sources stated that the armored force of the Russian Federation managed to answer the settlement by the name of Vovchi Yar. So this is something like a breakthrough. So as you can see, the Russians began improving their positions significantly in the most northern part of the Donetsk region, and if this situation continues developing the same way, the Russians will be able to take the northern part of Donetsk region under complete control in coming days, and this opens the way towards the city of Izum, the most important part of the front line, because one of the most important supply lines, the MO3 road, goes exactly through the city. If Russians can cut this road and to establish complete control over the territory, then this is going to be a very bad situation for the entire logistic of the Kramatorsk-Slaviansk agglomeration. As for the Kupiansk direction, during the previous 12 hours, nothing special, just regular activities. As for the northern directions, the same situation. The Russians continue advancing, and the Russian sources are saying that the Russians are intensifying their offensive operation. And that's it for the short video. Military Summary channel reminds that we condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for your watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.